Goodbye. All right, we're gonna stand to the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, this is part of the meeting that you have something on the agenda, or it's not on the agenda, and you have something you want to bring up, you can bring it up, and we can't act on it, but we can look at it at a later date. So anybody here is not on the agenda?
Thank you.
Of course.
Well, come on. Gentlemen,
Solid.
Planning Commission. I gave you your monthly report. We took in like $4,500 in fees. Had a very good March. Possibly we'll have a good April, I don't know. And then we have had some complaints, in particular about one mobile home that was being moved into Jennings Township. The gentleman has all of his permits, and he was replacing a mobile home on that same spot, and because we do not have an age limit on those mobile homes, he was able to move in a 1992 mobile home, which was not in the best of condition, but he has promised me he's going to upgrade it.
Well, as a member of the area plan, we're gonna have to rectify that ordinance or create an ordinance to limit the age of single wide trailers in Scott County, because we don't need people they tried, and they brought a couple into Lexington, and we just need to fix that before it becomes a problem. So, because a lot of times these aren't being used for personal residence, they're being rented, so they tend to go the other way pretty quick. So anyway, anything else?
Would you like me to direct the Planning Commission attorney to work on that?
Yes.
Will do.
I know we talked about it at one of those meetings, and we couldn't come up with a year, so we need to do that, and whatever the year is. I mean, this trailer here, I think you said was a 92, so I mean, that's 20 years old, so.
I think generally, both the City of Austin and the City of Scottsburg, they either go back and say no older than 10 years, although I'm thinking that the City of Scottsburg's might be no older than 5 years.
Well, I think that's what we talked about in our area plan meeting, about 10 years, and then somebody did some calculating and said, well, that's probably not a good number, so it needs to be less than 10, I think, so. All right, anything else?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Good, thank you.
Wait a second.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you.
Wait a second.
Live Springs.
She done.
She's always done. Well done. She's well done.
I'm actually not here for live stream. I'm here for prevent child abuse.
I got you down here as Live Springs.
I did that.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you remember the shoe display that has been put out on that courthouse sidewalk in the past. That's what I'm here to ask permission for. The proclamation signing is Thursday morning at 8:45. So we're just asking permission to set that up before then and leave it for the month of April.
Sure can.
All right. Thank you.
That was easy. Consensus. All right, Andrew, not here. Cell phone booster quotes.
I don't.
Andrew contacted me. He has received some quotes. We're waiting on
So we're gonna table that.
one more. He's requested that we table.
You guys good with that? Brandon?
Yes.
Craig? All right, we'll table it. Boy, this is moving right along. Now it slows real down. Kevin Hall. Or Lindy. For the life of me, my kids kept saying, I don't know him. I got a whole bunch of stuff. So I don't know how you recall Lindy.
Okay. Yeah. The mower max stayed the same. They said that their numbers are good till 425, so that's that. John Deere, that quoted last time, numbers went up. So they had to send a new one in.
No, we're gonna have a meeting on Thursday. So they-
Wait a minute. So Zach, can we open these tonight, or we can't act till Thursday?
So that's something that I think maybe we got some confusion going on in terms of, so here's the issue, is that, we noticed the bids to be opened for tomorrow night with the expectation that we would close, receipt of bids tomorrow at 10 a.m., I believe. So technically, we are not through the period in which we could
Still receive
still
something.
receive a bid.
So
So,
hold on to them until Thursday then?
obviously, Mower Max has indicated like, they're not changing theirs, whatever happens.
I mean, if we could open them, that gives you time to look at them, so.
Well, I think my question would be, do we have an expectation that any other?
There will be no more, I've talked to all these
would be-
salesmen.
You talked to every salesman,
Yeah.
they've all submitted something, okay. So, I mean, with that being the case, I think with the understanding that there was a reason to reschedule this meeting. It was an unexpected occurrence, we didn't plan for it when we originally noticed. I would suggest that you could open today, but not take action.
Do we need to acknowledge what they are then?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we'll have our meeting on Thursday to vote.
Yes.
Mower Max kept their bid the
If-
same.
Are you having a meeting on Thursday?
Yes. And this is the only thing on the agenda.
I would suggest holding, if that's the
That's why I was
case, if you
wondering.
already have a meeting scheduled for this week, I would suggest holding the opening
Because the,
until after, again, until
10
after that
o'clock.
10 a.m. period.
I get that. What else you got?
Well, that pretty well killed it. I got a couple things right here.
there's a stress ball in here.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys know exactly what's sitting there. Anyway, that's a semi-trailer that's that the county highway owns. There's no longer a semi at the county highway to pull it.
What's a day cab Panamaxle sleeper?
So-
Or a Panamaxle?
You know, it's all about the mileage, that's all. So, I've been advised that for the county highway, if they go 2007 or older, it gets away from the emissions. Considering we don't run a semi like a semi
Yeah.
normally gets run, probably a good thing to skip. So, it's all about the mileage, so I'm thinking somewhere in the $25,000 to $40,000 range would probably buy a day cab semi that would be good enough for us.
Panamaxle.
Tandem axle. Here's one example that's on Gov Deals right now. It just started, it's like 13,000, I'm sure it'll go around 40.
Can you call down at, it's not Penske, it's,
There's a place in Seymour that deals in using, the Gov Deals has using,
there's a place in, Jeffersonville, they're Mayhem's, that, it's Budget, I think, that
Mhm.
they, and the reason I say Budget or Penske is that I know they service their equipment, and
Yeah.
and the service is kept up on them. I mean, when you get elsewhere, you don't know if they're servicing them like everybody else should or not. I mean, so you might ask and say, hey, because I know they're always parked down there, and they pull them off at a certain mileage so that they can at least get something out of them, but.
So I guess my question is, and this may not even be a possibility, as far as used semis go, I can't take a semi out and take 4 months to come back and try to, you know what I mean, it's a moving target.
Oh, I get that.
So if we could set a budget, whatever amount, you know, whatever dollar amount we say, and then, you know, council goes to give us that money. And, I mean, we could still bring it to the commissioners meeting and say we're gonna buy this, but we at least gotta
Not to
get to the
exceed.
big part, you know, not to exceeds part. And because it's a moving target, on the used equipment, especially right now for some reason, because there's a lot of people having a hard time getting new trucks. So anyway, that's just something to think about. I don't know if we can do that with ARP money, don't know if you wanna do it with ARP money, but it's definitely a moving target.
Well, I know, and I'm gonna say this because I've been this for 30 years, but I mean, you're right about the trucks, and you're right about used trucks, and I know a guy that actually bought some trucks and sold them to people overseas, and they couldn't get them in a container, so they cut the roof off of them, just to get them in the
Just to get
container.
them in a good day.
So if you ever seen one riding around in Brazil or someplace without the top on it, it's,
They have to pay more money for it.
Anyway, that's just something to think about for next time.
so.
I haven't picked one out just because it's a moving target. We just kinda need to set a budget and then kinda go from there.
I might reach out to some people I know at Penske, cause I used
And those
to,
would probably be, we're probably looking, if it's a 500,000 mile truck for us, it's probably gonna be fine.
yeah, these guys are all, I mean, I've had a national contract with them for 20 years, so.
The only other thing, is we sold the John Deere and the loader, the bucket loader with the John Deere. So combined, they brought $21,350.
Tractor. So you are banking that money right now, aren't you?
Now, all that money went to our auction fund,
Okay.
or it will go to our auction fund. We have to get a check, deposits and all that, so.
Okay.
We got game plan to spend. No.
Yeah. The only other things on auction right now is that the old semi trailer, the old dump trailer we talked about a while back. I finally got it on there, and the old distributor truck, it's on there, so.
Okay.
That's it?
Thanks, sir.
You care if I expand on
Yeah.
this?
Hey, I just wanna make this clear that Randy's extending this meeting.
The $21,350 that he received from the John Deere tractor, Kevin plans to buy a side mount mower for the Challenger tractor to keep from having to purchase another tractor and set us up good for a good mower.
So I reached out to the guy that fabricates, and his best suggestion was for me to reach out to Diamond Mowers themselves, the actual company. And I did, and told them that, it wasn't a great piece of equipment, it had a lot of problems, and so on and so forth. So they said, the same day, they set me up with a salesman, and, they said they'll have me the bid back by tomorrow, but they're saying they have a side mount mower to fit that. So if we take the boom mower that's on and off, they could put a new unit on it, so.
Talking about the Challenger.
The Challenger, to just make it a side mount.
So, would we need that other mower then?
Yeah, cause I mean, you're just talking about a side mount, it just mows 5 feet,
Okay,
that's all it does. But I mean, if you had the other mower and you had that, you're in good shape,
okay.
you're in real good shape.
Alright.
And that wouldn't, cause that tractor's got like 2,000 hours on it, and it's got a lot of life left in it. Probably looking at 35,000, but we could kill 21,000 of that with the tractor we sold. So,
Okay.
anyway,
That's a
something like
plus.
that.
Plus, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Did we talk about the DLZ? Oh, yeah.
No,
So I think that and I wanted to clarify, I thought that we had already taken action on approving the amendments.
we did.
Okay, so we just need a signed version of the contract to send to.
I thought we
DLZ.
did that.
I thought that we did as well, but I can't find any notation that anybody has a copy of the signed agreement.
I thought I had printed off, you want me to print that off real quick?
The contract that I sent you,
Yeah.
it doesn't have a signature on it, but yeah.
But you
We
wanna
just need-
print it
We just
so
need
we
to
can-
get it signed, I don't think there's any actions necessary, but I just wanted to kind of bring.
Yeah, go ahead and print it so we can get it signed, so we can get it sent. That's what, if that's all.
We have a signed, Mike signed that, I sent that off.
You sent that to Gossip,
There's going to,
so you sent that?
Yeah.
So you're the one, okay.
that's, it's been sent, that's what I was.
You're
talking
sending
about
it to DLZ?
The amended piece that they.
Well, no, probably no, just the original
I
contract.
need the amended one.
Okay,
Yeah.
then no, I haven't, we need to do that.
You didn't. It was you.
Is everything moving? Do you need help there or?
It sounds like if we get this and we can get that into our hands, that's the next step, so I'd like to get that done, that's the only step we got left. Believe it or not, Duke's waiting on word from us to start the,
I'm gonna ask a silly question, and I know it's April, but, do we foresee that bridge being taken out this year?
yeah, as long as I get this
That's
paperwork
what
on
I
my
want.
end.
That's what I'm wanting.
For one reason, the steel ain't due until August.
Yeah,
So, you know, if we get it out and get it bid and get a contractor lined up, and, for whatever reason, there's a lot of contractors interested in actually having one stop by the shop that they wanna know, when we
Actually-
thought we was gonna be ready to go on that, so.
yeah, Andrew actually,
Drawed a lot of attention for some reason.
he said that,
Yeah.
cause he said when he was, you know, working on it, he said there was a lot of people interested, but I don't know why, but.
It's very rare.
Yeah, so I don't think we're gonna have a problem getting some guys to jump in and get good bids, competitive bids on it.
That's good.
So yeah, I'm just waiting on the land acquisitions, and we get those, then we can tell Duke that we're good to go, then start on the bid process. So yeah, we're gonna get it, we just gotta get this next step, and this kind of been the one that's took the longest for whatever reason.
That's 3/4 the battle right there. We get Duke
All the
out there.
paperwork.
Yeah, they were waiting on us, so that's a rarity.
Yeah,
So they say, you know, it ain't out there yet, so
they're communicating. That's
they're
good.
communicating, yeah.
So what do you need us to sign?
We're trying to find it, cause I think that this one is the,
Original. You can go on, I mean, if you, we'll find it, get it signed.
Have it Thursday.
no, we're gonna do this.
We're gonna send it. Missy's not here, but has she got something here?
Yes, it is the SRI tax. Here's 2 copies. I'll let you look. The first page, Missy and I sign, and it just telling the dates and our timeline to get things
Is
done.
this the normal
Yeah, the only thing
tax
is,
sale?
the fees have gone up $25 this year on that.
This doesn't have a list of the properties.
No, it does not.
So I don't see any place for us to sign, do we just need to approve
On the
it?
back.
Well, there is something on the back. Yes, there is, okay. All right. You guys know what that is, it's every year we do a tax sale on people that's delinquent on their taxes, and it has to be 2 cycles, doesn't it?
I don't know.
I think it is, isn't it 2 cycles before it goes to tax sale? 2 tax cycles?
I
Oh.
believe so, yeah.
Or maybe even a third one. I think it depends on how it falls, maybe.
Yeah, but I know it's.
Because I thought you meant, we only do, I think, 1 sale a year, but yeah, I think, yeah.
But I think you mean.
You have to go spring, fall, spring again, and
Yeah.
then you
Yeah, I think you're right.
get things, so. I'll entertain a motion to allow to advertise and put this on the calendar for our 2003 tax sale calendar.
I'll make that motion.
Randy makes that motion, Greg
I'll say.
seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous, so I guess we need to sign a back copy. You wanna sign 2 of them?
Yeah, I'll keep one, I'll give one to Missy.
Sign that someplace.
Oh, you guys already started.
No, we're gonna do that one too, she wanted to, All right, well, they're finishing that, Amanda Hurt request for approval, Amanda Hurt as permanent community corrections director position. I'm assuming from reading the email you sent earlier with all of the documents that the Community Corrections Board, I guess, has, requested us to make her the permanent director. So has anybody got any questions about that, or?
No, I don't.
Greg, so I'll entertain a motion to make her the permanent community corrections director.
I'll make a motion to, make Amanda Hurt the permanent director of community corrections.
All right, Greg,
Did that come out, I just saw it now, did that come after, the Community Corrections Advisory Board did recommend her?
yes,
Okay.
And we've got a letter.
yeah, they sent a letter, so.
And I'm here representing them, so
Okay,
yes.
I just wanted to,
So Greg's, or Randy's made a motion, Greg,
I'll say.
Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous. So, then there's a MOU pretrial service contract. All right, in the. Is that spelled right? Is that right?
IRS,
No, here,
reentry.
it says Indian, then it's.
Oh, did it say Indian?
It says Indian Reentry and Correctional Support Programs,
I
IRS.
believe it should say,
I
Indiana.
think it should too.
I wanna put an A on that. Like, okay. Anyway, this is a partnership between, IRAX, Scott County Grantee, and the community partners. I think this is part of what she was talking about with partnering with them to, for the grant. And it looks here, this MOU is for 1 year, so have you had an opportunity to look at this,
I have, and I can make the correction.
Well, the signature page on the
I have
back
a
is on.
working copy.
So, I guess I'll entertain a motion.
No, I'll make that motion.
Randy makes a motion to accept the MOU between IRAX of Scott County Grantee and the community partners. Greg?
I'll say.
Greg seconds that, I'll make that unanimous, so. That's the corrections. Guess these are.
There's individual signature lines for each commissioners.
We're gonna move right along here, Michelle. They got told till we
I
get to,
apologize for it.
till we get to the old slug there,
So
and
that's-
we'll all slow down.
I'm leaving it papers today. It's on printer broke.
I'm gonna start with grant requests real quick. So I have 3 grant requests. The first one is for just a renewal of our immunization grant. It would
So
start,
do you want this?
yeah, in just a minute.
Okay.
I got lots of things there. Immunization grant, it'll renew in July for the amount of $56,428. This is a reimbursable grant, no matching, so no county money. Helps fund one of our positions, medical supplies, equipment, marketing, that
This
sort
is
of thing.
one of them you do year to year?
Year to year.
Okay.
Yep. The second one, again, year to year, it would start in July. We are expecting to get the same amount, which is $33,410. Again, reimbursable, no county match. This is the Public Health Emergency Response Grant, year 5. This is the grant that puts on like preparedness training. We buy preparedness equipment, supplies, travel for conferences and training, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And then the last one, it's reimbursable / advance. So like once we meet our deliverables, we get the lump sum of money and can use that throughout until it's all used up. So this is the 3rd year for our school liaison, or it was formerly known as our COVID support money. We created that part-time position with that money. It's $110,000. Again, we just get to keep the money until we use it. So I will probably be going to council and asking for that position to become full-time. That'll kind of all connect whenever I get to the PowerPoint. For the school liaison to be a full-time position instead of a part-time position. It also helps with overtime money for any vaccine, COVID, any type of time for that. We can use it for overtime. Supplies, marketing, equipment, any of that sort of stuff. You're stressful with that money. Okay. So, 3, no county match, all reimbursable. Any questions?
You guys got any questions?
Mhm.
Brad?
Okay.
So I'll entertain a motion to accept or approve all 3 grants, and again, there's no money out of our pocket for any of these grants.
Correct.
I'll make that motion.
Randy makes a motion to accept all 3 grant applications, Greg.
I'll second.
Greg seconds that, I'll make that unanimous.
I will sign that and take that to council next week. The next one is, as Mike and Randy know, I come here periodically and ask for billboard contracts. We do them for vaccines. This one I want to do at least one for lead exposure. So on January 1st of this year, Indiana law changed to where when a child is 1 and now when a child is 2, they must get tested for lead. We do lead testing for children, anyone under 6. Lead can cause developmental and physical delays in children, so you definitely want to get lead tested, which is why the law changed. So just like a billboard, some ideas. This is Michelle's graphic design. Promoting lead testing for our community, and then probably one about naloxone would be the other one. It's the billboard that's about a quarter of a mile from our office in front of the laundromat there. On the one will be northbound, one will be southbound. The
State pays for that.
So our local health maintenance grant, yes, if you guys want to see where the money is there and ready to use. The contract total is $5,600. There's $10,000 in the line item, so.
We appreciate you walking in, showing you got the money.
I listen to what you guys say. So, yes.
It's easier that way.
Yes, it is. I agree.
I mean, comments, suggestions, I mean, I don't,
So that's not a grant where you're paying that out of your budget?
No, this is, it is a grant. It's the state money that we get now. We get about $55,000 from the state. It's called Local Health Maintenance and Trust Account. So we get that every year, and it's based on our population.
Who picked the subjects of what's going on?
So Indiana code, there's certain subjects you can use the money for. So as long as you're, and like one of the topics is just like general public health activity. So as long
So they
as
give you like 10 topics and you gotta pick one of them 10, or a couple of those 10 to put
Yeah.
out there.
a lot of counties do vaccines, of course. I think there's some are starting to do blood testing. So anything that involves public health, you can do the billboard on.
so what's, I mean, there's not too many things that are manufactured in lead anymore, but I mean, are they still thinking that?
So mostly
people
just the
own their
homes,
own
yeah.
homes and-
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, they didn't care about us.
That's what I was thinking.
They didn't care about us when we were kids. They cut the seatbelts out of the cars.
Yeah.
I mean, let you ride in the back end of a pickup truck. I mean,
Right.
let you eat paint off the walls. I mean,
Yeah.
See when you guys turned out.
Trying to prevent that. So yeah, mostly just homes. Mostly just homes.
But since they changed the rules or the laws to
Yes.
get the kids vaccinated on that, so that's very nice.
Yes, tested. Yeah, it makes mostly there's not like any sort of treatment. You just have to like provide better nutrition, so then the lead can kind of work itself out. But yeah, definitely.
well, actually, I had a friend of mine, I guess back in the day, that something to do with his formula that he got too much iron, or I guess that's,
Iron, yeah.
yeah, but anyway,
Yes.
it's not a, anyway.
Wrong metal.
Wrong metal. Should've put lead in there, but.
So yeah, that's what we're kind of focusing on. Again, that kind of plays into the whole public health initiative too. So
All right, well, do you just need our approval to do that?
approval to do the contract for the billboard, yes.
You guys
Can we table that?
Sure.
I mean, is there emergency order, any timeframe?
Nope, I
Restraints
don't
or-
just spend that money until the end of the year.
Okay.
Is there just a question about what we're gonna put up there, or?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you want other ideas to put up there, just let me know and we can look it up in Indiana code.
Okay. Well, I mean, they have to, they can go ahead and vote for it.
Well, I mean, if you wanna,
I wait. and see
Was there
what they
something,
wanna
was
do.
there another health topic that you feel like we're not discussing, or?
I don't know, I wanna think about it.
Okay.
well, I mean, do you have a list?
I
Of
can
what?
send you the Indiana code, what it says that money can be spent on.
Okay.
That'd be that section of the, like, I think it's 8 topics, but I can send that to you.
I mean, I'll just, for me, it's, I don't know why we have to constantly advertise to everybody that we got the worst case of, you know, people out here that wants to shoot up and all that stuff. It's not
What's the,
With
a
the
positive
Narcan,
message.
what's the?
we
code
don't
citation?
have to do that,
What's,
so,
what's the code citation?
I don't remember, it's local health
137,
maintenance, Indiana Local Health Maintenance Trust account, and,
Hey, now, we had an employee years ago that could cite those codes.
yeah, they must have a photographic memory.
I think they just.
And
knew
I've
that.
been looking at this stuff all day that I couldn't.
I just think they knew 2 code numbers and they just ripped them off and knew we didn't know what they were talking about. I know what you do.
I think that everybody that's in,
Is it the local health maintenance fund?
Uh-huh.
I think everybody that's in that situation knows
I mean,
about
you,
that.
if you wanna say you don't want to do this and you would rather just do lead on both sides, like, I'm fine with that too.
I just wanna,
One's northbound, one's southbound, so it's not like they're gonna be stacked on top of each
anybody
other.
that, here's my thing. Anybody that, you know, is
Mhm.
familiar with anything about that,
Yeah,
knows about that.
right, so my
I
thinking,
don't, and if there's another topic that you can put up there,
Mhm.
kid safety, something like that, that'd be great.
okay, so
For
my
me.
thinking
And
was
I'm
that.
talking for me, I'm not talking
Yeah.
for these guys.
Yeah, my thinking on this was that you guys funded my health department position for opioid settlement money. And I was thinking, okay, we receive the naloxone grant, we do training for organizations, we give it out to layperson, we give it out to fire departments, EMS. So I think that was like I was thinking it's gonna bring it like full circle to promote that, but if you don't, if you don't want that, then
And there is,
I understand your point of view as well.
and there is nothing wrong with what you're thinking,
Yeah,
at
Well,
all.
do you
At all.
have one for,
I would rather
Yeah,
just
one's
do
for the
this on
vaccine.
both sides.
yeah,
I have some already up for vaccines, so that's why I was thinking that this would be different. But I could do one I could do, last year we did our, back to school shots, they already have that in storage, so we could throw that one up there. I was just wanting to promote lead, like I said, because
I
that's
get
new.
that. That's-
And then for me, my idea with the naloxone was that, like I said, it's coming full circle for the funding of the position,
I get
all
that.
that, so. If any, my second choice would be to do this on both sides,
You do that?
cause it's.
I'm fine with that, I mean,
Okay.
that's what.
Since the law changed and we really do need to promote lead testing.
Sure.
Fine with that?
Yes.
Alright, I'll entertain a motion to approve her, contract with the billboards.
I'll make that motion.
Randy makes that motion, Greg,
I'll second.
Greg seconds, and I'll make it unanimous.
I'll have you
So
sign
you
it.
can, there's 10,
10, okay.
it's animal and vector control,
Mm-hmm.
which would be like.
Mosquito
pests
spraying
and
is what we do
mosquitoes
with
and stuff that form in city water. Things. Communicable disease control, including immunizations, food sanitation, environmental health, health education,
It can fall under either of those two.
laboratory services, maternal and child health services, including prenatal clinics and well child clinics, nutrition services, public health and nursing, including home nursing visitation and vision and hearing and screening, and then vital records.
Yes. Correct. Thank you.
So do they, I guess the other question here, do they tell you to design your own, or do they have suggestions or examples?
No, so every county does something different with that money. I know Jackson and Jennings, they also do billboards. I think Clark may do some billboards, but then like Allen County, they use their money to fund an entire environmental position. And all of that money is changing, which is what this next part's about.
Alright, go right ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna pull up my PowerPoint there for me, Greg. Thank you. You can just click it on through. Okay, so if you haven't heard, which I think you all do have,
Hang on, I'm
Oh.
not connected or something anymore.
Oh, no.
You're moving around on there.
Am
Yeah. Maybe try your arrow on your keyboard.
By the right key on your.
Oh, it should be off his computer on the,
Right. Is it going on your computer?
I? Mm-hmm.
what welcome to be able to click on the side. There it is.
Maybe if you close it out and reboot it, or the PowerPoint itself. Close out and restart everything.
I'm out.
Sorry, I was trying to utilize some
Where's the
technology.
billboard at? Okay.
I'm sorry?
The billboard.
You know the,
Tub
laundry tub club, that's right, like a quarter mile from us, it's right there, there's billboards there, one's north and one's south.
Okay.
There it is.
We can just use it from that screen if that's easier for you. You're right. You can go to,
Just go down and click the second thing now.
yeah, okay, we'll just, if that's okay with you, you can just click through it.
Okay.
Okay, so, the governor started the Governor's Public Health Commission, in 2021, because Indiana's life expectancy is trending downwards towards the national average, as you can see there. So,
So,
look, you're fine,
I was,
see that'll work? Yeah, great. Okay, perfect. Okay, so as you can see there, Indiana's trending away from the national average life expectancy, and unfortunately Scott County is the lowest in the state. We are at 72.9 years of life. When you look at Bartholomew County, that's at 78. Yeah, so we know Scott County is a great place to live. We just need to work on our health indicators and figuring out why we have such a lower life expectancy. So the governor created the Governor's Public Health Commission, which was composed of past senators, a health administrator, commissioner, mayor, basically all these different people from parts of the state, walks of life, anyone that could possibly have any kind of different outlook to really have the committee be well-rounded. If you want to move on. So that's kind of why it was started. And so they decided, and when they released a report of July of 22, to focus on those 6 areas. So you got governance and infrastructure and services, funding for public health, workforce, data and information integration, because right now some of our statistics are like 2-3 years behind. Emergency preparedness, which comes out of everything that happened with COVID, and then child and adolescent health. So as far as like Indiana compared to the national with public health funding, we're ranked 45th. And we are kind of backwards in the fact of a lot of our public health funding comes from the local level and not the state. Most states it's the other way around, which is a good thing I think in the circumstances that we're in now. And then 90 of the 94 local health departments are below the national 25th percentile for public health. Funding per capita in Indiana ranges from $1.25 to $83, which is Marion County. So there's just not a lot of funding going into public health. So, along with the report that they put out, these were the core services that they wanted local health departments to focus on. A lot of them we are already doing, a lot of health departments are already doing. but now they will have key performance indicators linked to them, so basically a way to measure and assess how well each health department is providing these core services. So you have vital records, communicable disease, access and linkage to critical care, health-related areas during emergency disasters, chronic disease and injury prevention, environmental public health, maternal, child, and family health. And as you can see there, the school liaison piece is underneath that child and family health section. Okay, next slide. So currently, Scott County is kind of in the middle, so we spend $16.59 per capita for our residents. Just from 2022, our tax base and our health department revenue was just over $350,000. We receive about $50,000 from those local health maintenance and trust accounts. Like I said, those are based on population. The state has Indiana code of what core services and things you could spend that money on. So it's basically the same concept. They're just having a much bigger bucket of money and a much more defined bucket of defined services, and they're going to be having local health departments report more accurate data with the key performance indicators and being very specific about how we measure our improvement with public health with the additional dollars that are coming in. Does that make sense so far? So this would start in 2024. It's already passed the Senate. It's on to Ways and Means in the House. It got amended today, so there's some stuff in here that I tried to update, but we'll try to see how it goes.
It went from 200,000 to 150 million, didn't it?
Yeah, so 75 million is the state bucket the first year, and then 150 million the second year. So right now we are set to get $377,500. So 50% of our 755 that is our new bucket of money. So that 50,000 is going all the way up to 755. The minimum for year one, so 2024, January 2024, the council has to set our county budget as a minimum of $410,150. That is based on our 3-year average of our local health department funds. That's just a stipulation statewide. That's part of the funding bill. Year two, that's where you would have your county match come in. It's still up in the air if it's going to be 20 or 25. It started as 20, but left the Senate at 25. They're really pushing to get it to 20 because as of right now, every health department except for one can afford the 20,000 without changing any of their health department budget. And I think it drops like 40 health departments if they do the 25.
So we're able to
Yeah, so you
pay our match.
yeah, so like our health department budget this year was $475, and so 20% of the 755 is 155, 25% is the 188. So we're definitely within that. You know, I'm not concerned about that at all. Some other counties obviously have to increase funding. And so you want to go ahead and click over. That would bring, with our revenue and our local budget, the way if everything stays the same, and we get the 755, then that would increase what we spend on residents to $45 from 16, so a $30 increase, which is good.
Is there, and I'm probably getting ahead of your program here.
It's okay.
Are they specifying what the money has to be spent for?
So today in the amendment, they did divide it up into 60 and 40%. 60% has to be spent on what I would consider like more of like normal public health things, so like communicable disease, vital statistics, tobacco prevention, student health, child fatality review, suicide and overdose fatality review, maternal child health, testing for HIV, hepatitis, and other STDs, tuberculosis, emergency preparedness, and then 40% can be spent on food protection, pest and vector control, inspection of public health swimming pools, on-site sewer systems, properties, sanitation, all that sort of stuff. So that just went through today, I don't know if that'll stay in there.
Well, I mean, where our mortality rate, I mean, should be is, I mean, or I would think is, you know, you're elderly, I mean, if, you know, if your life expectancy is dropping, then, and it's not from the bottom up, it's from the top down, I mean, we have a lot of shut-ins that probably aren't being reached by, and part of what Nick was talking about with this program they're talking about, going out and making sure they're talking to people.
Right.
And making sure they're all right, I mean, I don't know if that's part of this.
Yeah, no, Clark County's actually spending, I think, right now that they're talking of spending a good portion of their money on paramedic, right, community paramedicine. That's the last I heard from John Davies.
Okay.
What?
Are you talking about?
Their money that they're getting from the Government Public Health Commission, they talked about spending a lot of it on the paramedicine stuff. You already have money for yours.
Is this the lump sum amounts that?
And then also they did an amendment today that would probably really concern you, especially as an attorney. And one of my suggestions is that the health department get their own attorney, because this amendment also allows health departments to take their lump sum of money and do contracts and grants. So we could put out a mini grant and said, okay, like anyone who wants to focus on safe sleep. Like you can apply for a grant through the health department and you can say like how your program is gonna improve safe sleep or infant mortality rates in Scott County, and then we could dish out a grant to them.
And this is, I think at this point, I mean, I can't speak for sure as to what Clark County's doing.
Right.
But this is all contingent upon the idea that the act passes, right?
It's gonna pass.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know,
that's why I've waited so long to
That's-
talk to you guys about
The
it.
question I had was, I thought that there may have been like an opt-in provision.
There is, I'm getting to that,
Okay,
yeah.
so, that would be something that in order to, take advantage of some of the things in the act, well, I think most of it,
Everything,
we would have to opt in.
Correct.
And opting in comes with,
the promise of those two things that I mentioned.
it comes with, I think, substantial benefit in terms of like resources, ease of access. It kinda, I won't say like opens the floodgates, right, but it opens up the permitted uses for a large amount of funds for public health purposes.
Correct.
The one drawback, and I would say this as your guys' attorney, or not drawback, but one consequence to consider of the opt-in is that it does cede a certain amount of authority, like you're talking about, you guys would take over,
Well, that amendment, I think there was an amendment today.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, and you, yes.
Then, if that is an amendment that deals with that issue, then maybe I'm out of the loop, but the last I had looked,
It literally just happened this morning.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, the
So,
other
You can
part-
tell me, I haven't voted.
I stand corrected, I think.
That was a big
Every time that you
concern.
show up, you always catch me.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to do that. You're correct, because that was a very big concern. I think Senator Garton's email blast that you guys get, he was very specific in that a lot of lawmakers and local people were concerned that this bill was going to take away local authority, go against Indiana's Constitution of Home Rule, and take that from our commissioners and put it into the State Department of Health, and that is not what's happening. And so they've done a lot of work on
I think
rewording that.
so I think if it truly becomes like a, local, use wherein we're not making decisions based on what Indiana needs, but what Scott County needs, I think that's a different, in my eyes, that's a different bill in terms of what that means for Scott County, what that means for the Board of Commissioners, what it means for the health department. So, I'm not trying to,
No, you're fine. You tell me what
So
you think.
once it passes, when is our buy-in? immediately, or?
No,
Or is there a
so
deadline?
there's no, decision that you guys have to make today, cause obviously the bill's not signed and done.
Well, none of them go into effect till July the 1st.
Right, so then, basically, we would just need to know an answer before budget time. So I think council submits their budgets, what, in September, Jimmy, is that right?
August.
October.
We started last year, in August.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably come to you guys in the council in July and say, are we opting in? Because if so, I'm gonna have to like work both budgets to where they're cohesive and I'm covering all
Well, I
the
mean,
things that.
I've
I need
read
to.
some of it, because I was concerned about another bill, and I was watching this bill as well, and, some of them was, they were placing a commissioner on the board, they were there, and then some of them, like you said, they didn't wanna lose control
Yes.
to the state, so.
In some of the bigger counties, there's a lot of changes to, health officer. It doesn't have to be a doctor anymore, it can be a nurse practitioner, someone with an advanced degree, that would operate under the state health commissioner. But then there's a lot of changes as far as appointments when you have a county over 200,000, so that doesn't necessarily involve us. But some of the bigger counties are upset about that because it's taking away all their commissioner appointments, or I think it's like 3 or 4, and giving that to the cities. So they did an amendment today to where the cities would nominate and commissioners would approve, kind of like we do now with the health board when there's a vacancy. So yeah, you guys are not losing any control of the health department, the council's not losing any control of the budgets. There's just some certain thresholds that you have to agree to whenever you opt in. Like I said, year 1 would be that council would have to set our budget at 410,000. Year 2, they have to do the 20 or the 25% match, whatever the county, or whatever the state decides to sign the bill at. And I tried to like list it out here as best as possible. There's that new, under that new section, that's the amendment they put in. So before that it says like the executive body of the county shall. So basically it's not a grant. They're funds that are in the state budget. The state legislator will revisit this every 2 years when they do their budget. By agreeing to it, the local health department will be responsible for participating in the new core services, which for us is not a lot. We just have to have MOUs and contracts with some other agencies that are already doing this, like tobacco cessation, safe sleep. Obviously, we're going to track budget and spending. The Indiana Department of Health is providing regional support, so every region will have its own attorney, administrator, for local health departments to consult with and kind of be a sounding board, no decision making on that particular position. And then there's some changes, like I said, to the Board of Health and Health Officer qualifications. So you guys, commissioners, will be responsible for the vote to opt in. So once this bill is finalized, nothing can proceed until you guys agree to opt in to the funding and say we will deliver those core services. If you don't opt in, we're kind of just dead in the water. And then, like I said, the amendment today, you guys, it sounds like you would have to approve the plan that we come up with in the budget for this additional money. And then council obviously would have to vote to approve any kind of funding and matching dollars for our health fund. Do you think that clarifies it a little bit?
That makes it a little more, I have less.
I think a lot of people had that same
Less of
concern.
a concern.
I like the home rules as well too.
Yeah. Okay. You have any questions about like what you guys would be responsible for whenever I come to ask you?
It's everything.
Yes. Okay, so, I'm gonna move on, Greg. In the meantime, these are kind of like next steps that I think we should take. So, internally, we just need to figure out where we have strengths, where there's some room for opportunities. Like I said, one thing that I wanna look at is definitely having a full-time school liaison / COVID support, changing that from COVID support completely actually. And I really wanna make it a health educator, so it's very broad. Put the responsibility as a school liaison to kind of help coordinate all these services, because like a lot of them do focus on child health. Obviously, we'll be meeting with our external partners, so there's a whole list in the next slide, but talking about what they feel like the gaps are as far as improving, health outcomes for Scott County. And then from there, develop a plan budget that we would share with you guys and other stakeholders. And then, like I said, I think that we probably need to really look into getting a health department attorney, so we can create MOUs, contracts, so that by January 1 of 2024, we can hit the ground running with this new plan. And then final is just the partnerships that I think would be, so just having conversations with these people and anyone else about, like I said, the gaps that they see in public health in Scott County, or health in general. Any questions? I'm gonna do this exact same thing for the council next week. Like I said, no action needs to be taken today. It's just kind of a heads up. It's probably gonna change 2 or 3 more times would be my guess. It goes to Ways and Means, and then it goes to a full vote at this house, and then I think it may convene. I don't know how all that works. If there's too many
They
changes,
won't-
the Senate and the House have to talk
We've
again,
only
and
got
then,
2 weeks left, so,
yes, they have to sign by April 28th or 29th, so.
alright.
Which is why I waited so long, because this has changed a lot, and there was no reason to come talk to you guys about it in January, whenever I didn't even know if it was gonna make it out of the Senate. But it's gonna, something's gonna happen to it for
Is
sure.
Doug on the,
He's on the, Core Services Committee, so
Okay.
he is part of the team that's making up all of our key performance indicators that we'll have to do once we have the money.
okay,
Yeah,
I knew he was gonna say.
yes, he is.
So what's with the vehicle?
Yes, sorry, vehicle. Okay, so my request is, oh man, I totally messed up. To trade in our 2016 extended cab Colorado, which is estimated to be about 13,000 from Kelly Blue Book. I estimated that a little low. Randy asked me that I print those out for you guys. So the first Kelly Blue Book is for Nick's truck. The second one is for my Durango that I'm giving Nick, and then the last one would be the Colorado truck that I want to trade in. So basically, there's no Colorados on the market. I want to get rid of our 2016 because it's had some issues in the past. We've already put a transmission in it, and we're starting to see some of those signs again. So I think I kind of just want to ditch
I
it.
wanna know how you got a 21.
I know, I just saw that.
Is that
Sorry,
a, is
that's
that
a
a
typo.
spaceship, 2106?
2106, I wish.
Alright, I got a question, you got a trailer, how you gonna pull your trailer with?
So, I don't use any of my health department vehicles to pull that, but my Durango does have a tow hitch, and I'm asking for a Durango with another tow hitch, so it could.
That truck has a hitch too.
I don't know if it has the horsepower to pull that big trailer though.
You talking about that little Colorado? That ain't gonna pull that trailer.
Right, I mean, in the past, we've used like EMA's truck. Do they still have that big truck?
Now they gave
No, the highway. So you know it's called Kevin. And then, but yeah, so that would be.
Alright.
So then I would get trade in my red truck, buy 2023 Durango, and then if that's approved, I would like to switch it's actually a 14, I told you wrong. I told Nick it was a 15, it's a 14, has 29,000 miles on it with Nick.
Alright, so
Trying to help.
You don't have to take it.
I always like when departments are working with other departments to do this, but do you have the money to buy your
Yeah,
car?
so, with the local health maintenance and trust money that we've been talking about, it's non-reverting, so we just.
Use it or lose it.
No, we use it or
Use it,
it
it
stays
stays.
in my bank account, in that bank account. And so I have
Here comes another number.
$76,910 in that pot. We call it carryover, that I can use to purchase the vehicle. That's how I purchased my Durango, and they purchased the Durango and the truck, in 15
So
and
how's
16.
your end?
Her and I had talked, my only concern was switching over the equipment, cause my truck's a 18, I think, and I was bamboozled and was told to go 15 and that's 14.
I'm sorry.
My only
It's just
concern
like
is,
a car salesman.
I told her, you know, it's beneficial for us just because everything's inside instead of the bed, but my only thing was I don't have the budget to switch over my lights and stuff, and where there was a price difference, she had agreed to take on the cost of switching the stuff from that Colorado to the Durango. Other than that, I'm indifferent. It helps her, it helps us because of the equipment, it gives her what she needs. I'm indifferent.
Didn't you talk about that before?
Well, the plan was when we, you know, when we would renew one of our chase vehicles, that would have been the first one that I got rid of just because it's the oddball out. So this
Yeah.
shores it up for us.
I think
for
by the time I pay for the everything to go,
graphics and the lights,
Yeah.
will be very close to even.
yeah, maybe a couple thousand off, but
But you had in mind.
yes, yeah. So I would pay for, wraps, decals, backup camera installation. So yes. So, and then I have the money, I just have to go to council.
Can I see that?
Yes.
No, I'm just joking.
But yeah, as long as that's covered on.
Yeah, John Conkler's gonna stop by this week and give me an actual trade-in for the truck. So then I'll have my actual number by next Tuesday for the council.
What do you?
Are we, is the trade-in, you get value for the vehicle with the same dealer that you would get the vehicle from?
How many miles does your Dodge Durango have?
20, didn't you?
It's 20, it's like right under 29.
30,000.
Yeah. And then, Nick's Colorado has about 59,
Yeah,
I wanna say.
58, 59.
And then, my Chevy truck has about 70.
What motor's in that?
Durango,
6.
3, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
Same that's in line.
And then the Colorado's the
Oddball.
6-cylinder, 3, whatever they put in there, I don't know.
Greg, you got any comments, suggestions?
Your Durango is all-wheel drive, right?
It is,
It is all
Appreciate y'all
drive.
working together.
That was my only concern, because our truck is all-wheel drive.
Well, again, I mean, she has a vehicle that you could utilize more than she can utilize it, and, same thing, Kevin got a couple of trucks, and he probably got the bad end of that deal, though.
Yeah, sure did.
How many miles did the, Colorado have?
57, I think he said.
EMS has 59, mine has 70.
Yours has 70.
And it's the, just the extended cab has the fold-down seats, whereas his
Ours
is,
is fully loaded.
yours is like fully loaded,
Huh?
heated seats.
You can see she's steering wheel leather.
Hopefully got the
I know,
numbers.
Jill bought yours.
And footbelt.
Oh, yeah, it's on the back.
I don't have a problem with it, I think it's good.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to make the deal.
I'll make that motion.
Randy makes a motion to let, Michelle at the health department purchase a new Durango and a trade of,
2016, sorry.
2016 extended cab Colorado, would be traded. And then, 2014 Durango will go to EMS, and I'm taking it the 2018 Colorado will be
Mine.
yours. Okay.
Then I would pay for all wraps, decals, lights,
All right.
backup
And that
cameras.
would be, is there any money that needs to be,
Contingent on, like, I guess, like council approving that
Yeah.
purchase.
Yeah, she's gotta go to council, so.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous, so.
Good job on that.
Hey, thank you for helping me
Oh,
with that.
absolutely.
So,
Good job.
thank you.
Actually, I'm glad we finally used it.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to use it more, so.
Yes.
Good.
I'll try to give you that additional short name, I'm not sure.
Let's go with the sheriff's mental health service contract. Do we have that?
Yeah, it
Is
was
that the one
sent.
that's annual, the annual renew?
I'm not sure, it was handed to us just before the last meeting.
I think that's,
Minutes.
we're gonna do this first. so.
Okay.
Just go ahead and set it. I think this is a renewal of, yes.
I think you looked at it, but it was like 2 weeks ago, was the last meeting. Do you remember?
He's
I don't have anything
He's been
else.
the county.
Look at the time.
Let him look,
Don't
yeah.
run off.
That'll hold you for fun.
Is there a price increase?
Oh, I'm sure there is. I'm not buying you another antenna.
I got 2 extra.
Yeah, this is the normal contract that we sign for, health services in the jail. Also has Life Springs. But usually, I didn't see in there, did you see where it had an increase?
I didn't see any money in
I didn't see any either.
While we're doing that, go ahead.
There's a compensation provision in the other terms. It doesn't outline like an amount not to exceed. So I would
I'm
suggest
not
that,
signing it.
I would suggest just approving it, contingent on council appropriating a set amount of fund. It doesn't outline like,
Yeah, but I don't know what it was last time, so I don't know how to set a certain, why don't we just,
I'm not gonna sign.
why don't we
it.
just
Don't have
table,
it.
why don't we just table until we have a figure, because I'm not gonna guess of what it is, and that's, wouldn't sign a contract without a number in it, so.
Right,
We're gonna have a meeting, well, this meeting, next meeting's the 26th, so. I'll entertain a motion to table it
I'll make that motion.
until we can get a number on it.
I'll make a motion to table that contract.
Randy, create some motion to table, the mental health service contract until our next meeting.
well, I'm sorry, there actually is an hourly not to exceed, like, a number of hours.
Is that Life Springs?
Yes, it's paid
That's the
per,
contract for Life Springs.
it's a pay per hour, and the, contracted agent for Life Springs can't exceed a certain number of hours per week.
Is it designated in there?
Yeah.
You good with that then?
Well, if it's got, yeah,
52
I mean,
times
I think that is that Life Springs, now that you said
8
that,
would,
is, it is an hour.
12 would be the max. So with a compensation for benefits of 25 per hour.
how much an hour?
25 an hour.
50 an hour for, behavioral health services. But there's a $25 an hour, for benefits acquisition as well. For hours,
So
minimum 8, not to exceed 12.
So, does anybody know where we was at last year?
I think it's roughly the same
I don't
contract.
know. I think it's probably around, it doesn't look like it's changed at all, but.
Alright,
Want to amend that?
I'll amend the agenda.
You don't need to, just
Well,
amend your motion.
I amend my motion, yeah. So,
So you're amending to pass it,
I'll make
sign
it,
it?
I'll make the motion, go ahead and pass it, since there is a cost.
Alright, Randy's made a motion to sign the mental health service contract with Life Springs for the year 2023, so I'll second. Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous, so. You sign it, and he signed it. Now go ahead and start yapping.
Only have two things. One of them, I don't know how to approach, so I'm kinda glad he's here. I got approached by, a vendor outside the county, about supplying, medical coverage for them, for a specific event. And they would pay the people that worked it directly, and they could pay us a designated fee for our fuel. but none of it would have to go through the council because they would be paying the people directly for the scheduled event.
We would be authorizing the use of county equipment outside the county
Correct.
and with the understanding that the employees would be compensated by the third party?
Correct.
Okay.
Those words.
So, again, I think that's kinda,
It was just done that way so it wouldn't affect my budget, and like if it was something that didn't have to go to council, didn't have to do the whole salary thing that I'm dealing with for something local here, it's just,
well, that's where I'm getting at, is if someone that has already worked X amount of hours and they're getting ready to hit overtime, they go over there and work,
that's
or they,
for a different
That's for a
entity.
different entity, as long as it's clear to the employees
that's where
that
I'm getting at, cause
their
they could say,
agreement for this additional work, even though we're allowing our equipment to go with them,
Yeah, they'll do a W-9 and all that.
they're not on the clock, they're an independent contractor essentially with.
Yep.
so where's the liability?
As far as,
Well,
If they
we
get
do
hurt.
have, we have our equipment on an off-county site. I would say that in terms of like liability for care, that seems to be
that's still us thing.
I would think it would be a third-party issue.
Well, yes and no. So
They'd have to,
if
they'd have to
it-
assume the liability, cause,
if there was a treatment issue, it's their liability. If there was something that obviously happened in our vehicle, that would be the liability because of the, you know what I mean? If it's a malpractice issue, then that's on them.
Alright, if somebody hurts their back, breaks their arm, smashes a finger.
That's at that entity. The
Okay.
workman's comp part comes from them.
Okay,
so are you good with that? Is there a contract that
When
we?
is the event?
The first one is April 16th, but I told them it's not gonna be decided by then. I mean, it may be, but I wasn't pushing a time frame. It's once to twice a month until September.
And you have a crew that wants to do it?
I have people, like, we'll put the opportunity for them to do it out there. I can't force anybody, cause it's not
No,
my,
I'm not
yeah.
saying that.
There's plenty of people that would do it, yes. And it's something that, you know, obviously isn't gonna interfere with my primary coverage of what we're here to do, and it's cover the county.
Yeah, so you're saying will not, definitely.
It
will
was not gonna interfere with,
No way.
correct,
Somebody's yelling for it.
go ahead.
So what's your guys' thought?
But yeah, it's not gonna,
What's your thought?
Okay, I would say that we would be fine with it, assuming that we can clarify some of the, maybe like liability
We-
questions.
well, see, I can speak that they do sign a W-9 and they sign the waiver and the liability there, so it's each time. Go ahead. They're on their, when it's on
They're
their,
on they're providing the service.
Yes.
With their independent
Correct.
contractors, they who just happen to be.
in something that says Scott County.
So, is there a contract that we're entering, an MOU
It's just
that
a
we're entering?
verbal, it's pretty much you giving me permission to take a truck somewhere out of the county, is all it is. Just saying that, like,
So-
because it's got the equipment, it's got all of that stuff.
So if something would happen, I mean, say your services are needed,
Mhm.
you use equipment off the truck, who's replacing that equipment?
The patient that gets billed, just
Okay.
like we always,
Alright.
would do in any other run that we do.
What's your guys' thoughts?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
I guess,
I just,
until we see it don't work,
fair enough.
so.
The only other thing is just information, obviously, you're aware, sir,
Do we need to vote on that?
One quick, is it a government entity or private entity?
private.
Do we need to make a vote?
Yeah, we will.
are they talking about compensating the county in any way in particular?
They would
for use of the equipment?
They would give us like a fuel charge or whatever that they would set if
They
needed.
cover like the cost.
Yes, the cost of fuel there and back and like whatever. The employee compensation is obviously at them at whatever rate they designate. As far as equipment goes, that gets carried to the.
I would say you could approve it like contingent upon, you know, some kind of agreement with them about those things. I would feel less comfortable about
A handshake deal.
a handshake and well, any type of
Yeah, I'd rather have an MOU or
donation
something.
of county equipment to a
Okay.
private entity.
Okay, so just have
For a
them,
specified purpose.
just have them type up
without
something.
Understanding, without a formal understanding that they're reimbursing the county, for costs.
Okay, so just have something that says they'll reimburse the county XYZ for XYZ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, is that it?
The other thing is informational. We have, as you were aware, we switched radio systems, so, for the time being until we can figure some stuff out. I'm short on radios, so we borrowed some from some other entities. But we were getting into a huge liability on our side of things where it was turning into a complete nightmare, so. I had, for about a 45-second period, the county was completely uncovered, because I was listening to both radios at home. But our VHF frequency has been steadily declining since the end of last year to where we're getting a lot more issues with ability to have communication. Like we just have a lot more dead zones, or when we would get out, it's just completely garbled. And we've always had 800s as backup, one for each truck, but that was it. And we were having trucks that were having to switch over to 800. The problem is you couldn't hear them at the station, so if I'd go transporting to Norton on the 800, my crew back at station had no idea. And that's exactly what happened, is I had two trucks go out of county, and then another one went out of county on a different radio frequency, and no one knew the light of day because they can't talk to each other, couldn't talk to each other, and couldn't monitor two frequencies at the same time. And on the flip side, if I hollered for help on this radio on the 800 when they were on VHF, my people at station never would have known. Dispatch would have, but because they couldn't do it.
Well, and that's the overall problem with, back to the radio system like a year or so ago, is that by some of the people running on one channel and some of them run on another channel, people can't hear other people.
And I get that. I'm the one
I get
entity
that.
that covers the entire county, and
I
I'm the
get
one
that.
entity that doesn't have a repeater.
Get
So
that.
that's helpful.
Actually, I talked to Jeff the other day, and he got a hold of Michael Dyer, and, we're going to, see what happened, because we've had some significant windstorms in the last 6 months or so, and, you know, I don't know if that has something to do with it. I've asked him to climb this tower over here, cause your equipment's on that tower. I told him to get him to climb the tower and make sure everything's working on that tower, so. But, again, you know, I know, and I'm gonna say this, and somebody's gonna get pissed, but I mean, the radio situation, when it was brought up last time from EMS, or from 911, was not a political situation that people wanna play it into. It was a system or a situation that what you can afford and what you can't afford.
I get it.
And that was it, period. I mean, I've never said that 800s aren't a better radio than the low bands. I'm not ever said that, but when you're talking almost twice the amount of money for an 800 radio versus a low band radio, then that's where I was having a problem with it. And the other part of that is that, yeah, there's certain departments in this county that probably could go to 800s and be able to sustain the money, but there's a lot of small, volunteer fire departments that can't do that. And so now we've put more people out there that can't hear other people's traffic, and you can't, and you're not monitoring their traffic, so it's a safety thing for me, and, if we were made of money, wouldn't be an issue.
I was just letting you know in case a fire chief or someone came to you and says, hey, we can't
Oh, no.
hear EMS,
Well,
we need this.
who's
That
the-
way you know that, you know, that's what's going on.
Who was the first one to call you
You.
when I heard you on 800?
You?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm aware. No, and it's, you know, and it was a safety thing for me too, for my crews, not knowing where each other are at. I'm not comfortable with that one bit. So, and kudos to Jeff and Will, especially Will, up at dispatch while we were trying to figure this out. They were patching stuff through and clicking about 10 extra buttons more than they had to click to make sure that while we were trying to gather up some radios and transition over, that everybody could hear everything, and they were patching stuff through, and, you know, kudos to them for helping us out. And I'm sure when I left, they were calling me every name in the book, but they were super supportive while I was there and trying to figure out a solution for us. So big kudos to Will and them up there. So
All right, thank you.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right.
Sir.
Sure.
Consideration of the transfer station and Sasco fees and services. Now on this, when we're increasing rates, we have to do it on 3 readings.
This would be, if we're talking about doing a change in fee structure, we probably need to adopt an ordinance changing the fee structure.
Okay.
So that would be on a minimum of 2 separate readings at 2 different meetings.
So can we pass something that says we're gonna write an ordinance or create an ordinance, or so that we know that, so the council will know that we're moving the ball down the road with this, so that they're not shocked with what our rates and what our.
Yeah, I think you can like outline the rates, and then, I mean, technically you could pass it at one meeting if it was unanimous.
Okay.
So you could today.
So do you-
Outline the rates?
Well, we did that at our last meeting.
Okay, I don't think I was here.
No, you weren't. But, we did it at our last meeting, but, you would need the rates to put into an ordinance, correct?
Yes.
So, I think I might have that same copy, hang on now.
That's the one thing I would like to maybe add.
Yeah, I got
See
it
what
right
you
here.
guys think, but, no contractors dumping.
I don't know about that, well, cause we already talked about, outside. I don't know, let me think of that. Me personally, I'm not talking about what you're wanting to do. So you're wanting to make it where it's, no contractor dumping at all.
Yeah, what was, is that what, remind me, Greg, was that what?
Yeah, I think what Randy was specifically talking about was, drywall. And, I think we kinda wanted to put a limit on the amount of drywall, just so that we're not taking the burden of a lot of contracting crews bringing, a lot of that out potentially. You know, it's set for a few days, continue to get wet, increase our loads.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're more on the lines of helping and accommodating to the DIY, do-it-yourself people. And then things that they may have extra around the house. So, you know, I think we were kinda wanting to put a a number to it, with the sheets that could be dropped off out there at one time.
Well, can we put a price on it?
We can't, it gets really hard to put price.
Oh, yeah,
Cause, I mean, you just don't know, I mean, how much does a wet piece of drywall weigh?
that's
And
heavy.
how much, you know, at what point level of moisture content level does it change, and the thickness of the,
Yeah, I get all that. Like I said, I don't know
Zach,
how you rate that.
let me ask you a question here. So, could we put on our sign, no contractors? Or would that be discriminating? Would that be breaking any laws?
I do not know the answer to that question. I would have to look at what the, requirements in the state certification or the state, I'm using the wrong word, but it's what we're going through right now that allows us to operate, basically. I need to make sure that we would be in compliance with whatever that requires of us when we operate something like this. And if it's, you know, accept all or nothing, then potentially, but I don't know if I can answer that question without looking at.
Did we get those paperwork back to Indianapolis?
We have got them, there's a folder there, but they're not complete yet.
I think we had till the 15th to do that,
Okay.
So we could put a number on it.
cause I called that girl, cause
Like we said,
somebody
but-
called and said that we were shut down. I'm like, no, we're not. So I called her and she was no, you had till,
I think the confusion was, is court was not there that morning, and nobody told them, so we had a phone call in here because they could not get through the gate to empty,
yeah.
is what had happened, so that's what they thought, it was shut down over the permits. And that was not the case, yeah, that was not
But
the case.
we need to get that paperwork sent
That's
in.
the word I was
Okay,
looking
okay.
for.
Yeah,
Okay.
we need to get that permit back to the state, cause she's waiting for it, so.
We're gonna need some help with that, because what was turned in, I'm not sure what to change, and what it looks like it was just because it was sent in from before.
Well, what is it, what kind of information do you need?
I'm not sure, that's why I need somebody to help me look at that and see, I don't do waste, I don't know. I can let you look and see what you,
We'll
yeah.
look at it here in a little bit, so. So, also in that ordinance, we need to increase the Sasco bags.
Okay.
So that needs to be in the same, ordinance, so, what did we say, from 75 to $1.50, is that what we were talking about? Or do you think that's right, or?
Yeah, I think the other thing was, but I think that's more than fair, and we can,
We haven't raised it forever.
Yeah.
Actually, we found paperwork when it was started in 1993, it was 75 cents then, and it stayed that way, so I mean, you're right at 30 years.
Can I see that paperwork
It's in my office.
for when I do the
Okay.
changes?
Yeah, so I guess we're going to, you said we can kind of vote to say we're going to move forward with this, and,
I would say you can by consensus kind of agree that this is what the rates are gonna be, to just kind of give, the idea is to give notice to council, but making it effective would be, by ordinance.
okay, also,
Which we could, I wanna be clear, you could pass on 2 readings at a single meeting if it's unanimous.
yeah. The other part of this is that we're, changing the hours. We're also changing the position from a full-time position to a part-time position. So in essence, I think we're all in agreement that we wanna give court enough time. So I mean, at least give him till our first meeting in May, or after the first meeting in May, or something that says,
Did we, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to, you finish.
Randy.
no, I'm
That's
done.
my fault.
Let me see that.
Did we receive something from Kate Garvey that asked us for additional information on the permit?
Kid Garvey,
Kate,
Something came from the state.
yes, I couldn't tell you the name.
Kate Garvey does most of the permit for this.
I talked to the girl that was the permit manager, because we were told that the permit wasn't valid, and so I called up there and this lady's name, it's an Italian name, like Hattie or something.
Or Garvey. Oh no, that's the email.
But anyway, she flat told me that she's gonna handle it, she goes, we're good, so, and there is a deadline. I think,
That's what I was gonna say, is
I think it's the 15th that
if
she
they
should
have
have
sent
it.
us some type of notification that we need to provide something, we have 60 days,
Kevin,
so.
Kevin,
Maybe not.
you got a minute?
But anyway, that's what, we need to get those, and if she's doesn't know the answers to the questions, then we need to figure out, who does or whatever, so. So I guess by consensus, can we just say that,
You guys are agreeing that these,
Just read the top sheet on
we're in agreement for those rates?
it. Yeah,
these rates.
yes. I'm sorry.
Um,
And the Sasko, you need to,
And
the Sasko's not on there, so you need to add that.
we'll
in
just
the
add the
department.
Sasko. on
Yeah,
the-
this is just a sign, and actually this is a sign.
Yeah,
And
to go up.
Can we go ahead and
Future
approve
operations.
that we want this sign?
Yeah.
While we're doing this too?
Yeah,
So we can move the council. That's just a heads up, okay?
so, and you said, I guess make a motion, cause I don't know what the,
So, I'd like to make a motion to approve these price increases at the Scott County Transfer Station. And let's do that first.
well, actually, you said we can only do it on consensus, so.
I would do it in consensus right now, that gives
On
me
the prices,
the
but as
authorization
far
to go
as-
ahead and get the ordinance drafted.
That's right, I'm sorry. So I'd like to make a motion to have this sign approved, from, Babs Signs, to go ahead and make this.
For posting after the effective date of the ordinance, for future operations.
Yeah, what he said.
Randy makes a motion to, purchase the sign for the landfill. I think there's 2 signs,
There's two, there's one,
and,
gonna be by the road, and the other one will be up by the
so how much are they, 7 apiece?
7 apiece.
So there's $700 apiece, and that's installed, so Greg? I'll say. Greg seconds it, and I'll make that unanimous, so, and for the public, again, we're going to, at our next meeting, on April the 26th, we're going to vote for the first time, I guess, and I'll just say this so that let's do it on 2 different nights so that we'll have a first reading, give the public an opportunity to digest it. If they wanna come in on the second reading and have public comment, then we'll allow them to have that
Yeah,
comment.
I think that we will have to have a section on the agenda that will permit public comment.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, so anyway, that's what we'll do, so, and I made that unanimous, so. Consideration of the library board appointment, come to find out, we thought that we could just renominate our past, or our, nominee, before. Come to find out we couldn't because, there is a statute of limitations of how many terms you can have as a library board member, and it's 16 years. So Mary Beth Comer could not be, considered again. And, I had a conversation with, a lady that I wanna nominate for, the library board as the commissioners, pick, and that person is Carol Deaton, so, comments, suggestions, or nay, or whatever.
Well, Carol's served on that board for a number of years and she's done a really good job and, I certainly support it.
What's your comments, Randy?
I'll agree with that.
Okay, so I made the nomination, so I made the motion, so I need somebody to second.
I'll second that.
Randy seconds that, and Greg?
I'll make that unanimous.
Unanimous, so I've already, I haven't told her I told her we would have a vote, if we can touch base with her, just let her know
Darlene, let Darlene.
that she's back on there, so, alright, let's move along, cause I was trying to get out of here.
Wait a minute, I'd like to amend the agenda.
Alright,
We have a FMLA that came in just a few minutes, and it's something we need to take care of tonight.
that's it. Okay.
I actually think we're going to have an executive meeting for this.
And Zach, have you seen this?
No,
Probably not.
Yeah, you need to come to that. Remember the conversation we had before? First of all, let's, vote to amend the agenda for the FMLA. So I'll entertain a motion to,
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda for FMLA consideration.
Randy's made a motion to amend the agenda to include a FMLA request that we just received late, so Greg?
I'll second.
Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous, so. While our attorney's looking at that, I'm gonna go ahead and, has everybody had an opportunity to look at payroll for 310 and 324?
Yes,
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion to pay the claims.
I'll make that motion.
Randy's made a motion, Greg?
I'll second.
Greg seconded that, and I'll make that unanimous, so. Also had well, I'm gonna jump over here, consideration of the minutes for 2/15 of 23 for the Board of Commissioners meetings. Everybody had an opportunity to look at that. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Randy makes a motion to approve the minutes for the Board of Commissioners for 2/15.
I'll
Greg seconds that, I'll make that unanimous, so. Now we're back to the consideration of the regular and special invoices, so. We got special ones again,
you know, I don't think we do. I
So-
think this time it's just the,
regular claims.
yeah.
Alright, I'll entertain a motion. I guess I'll first ask, has everybody had an opportunity to look at their email and see the claims?
Yes.
Yes.
You already signed it, didn't you?
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion to accept, the claims.
I'll make that motion.
Randy,
Claims.
Randy makes a motion to accept the claims, Greg? Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous, so. Does anybody have anything extra? And I know, I guess I'll wait for him to,
Yes.
that's back to her. We need to sign that book.
I guess one of the questions I have is, I would need some clarification on, because I think that there's already been a request previously within the last 12 months.
Yes.
Yes.
And I don't know the full amount of time requested in that circumstance. But, FMLA, provides, eligible employees up to 12 work weeks of unpaid leave a year. And, requires group health benefits to be maintained during the leaves as if the employee was working instead of taking the leave. And they're entitled to return to their same or equivalent position. I think there's probably
Can we table this?
I think so, I mean, it was delivered right before the meeting, like,
Cause we're gonna have to do some
Almost
checking if
during
that's
the
the
meeting.
case.
About 4:30.
We're gonna have to do some checking to see if, you know, the individual still qualifies. So, I'll entertain a motion to
Well,
table.
we can
well, and
approve it without pay, right?
well,
I don't know what you're approving it.
Approving him to go ahead and take time off.
Well, he's off right now, isn't he?
I guess.
It's marked on there, that you, whether or not you, it's given some options.
I just don't know if we've exceeded,
Right.
even if eligible, even eligible employees who are covered receive a capped amount.
I guess my question was, is it up to our discretion?
I couldn't answer that question without knowing what the previous requested amount, what the time, how
How
much.
much time is went through?
And it's 12-month periods, basically.
So you wanna, what you need to know is how much has been used in the previous 12 months.
Correct.
Okay.
Can we have an emergency session following this meeting,
An emergency what?
session over this?
Can,
Did you read it? Okay.
I did, I mean, I don't think there's any, what do you mean by emergencies, like executive session? I don't think there is a such thing as an emergency executive.
Emergency action.
I don't think so, I don't believe so. I mean, we could,
we can approve it
here's what we can do,
and say we need to check into it, and if there's dates available.
we can continue. Or we could, I don't know if your schedules will allow this right now, but we could, brain's not working, it is, recess this meeting and not discuss anything, allow the auditor to try and go get an answer to my question, come back and reconvene, then to, so that we could,
Yet this
the
evening,
auditor and I could inform on where we stand.
Is that information readily available?
not to me, no.
Okay,
I don't think I could find it.
okay, well then, that's kind of,
Well, can we approve the FMLA request on the condition that he has the dates available, or up to dates available that
I think he
still
still
has?
Yeah.
So let's do that. So, I'll entertain a motion to, approve the FMLA request, for this individual, on the condition that there is time still available for him for
I have a question.
the FMLA request.
Has the employee worked for us for more than 12 months?
I don't know them. I think they.
Well, he worked, if he worked for us before,
It
would
does
his
not,
time carry?
that doesn't matter.
No, it
Okay,
stops.
I wanna-
It
Okay.
carries over.
Huh?
If he worked in a different position,
It doesn't carry.
no, it does.
It does.
It does,
Yeah,
yes.
but he left and then came back for a different position.
Yeah, he was absent for a while.
I mean, for
That I might be able to
for
say
some
yes.
time. Let's just do that. Let's approve it on the
Yeah.
conditions that he meets the qualifications,
Okay.
so.
Okay, I'll approve the FMLA on the condition that he,
qualify.
meets-
qualifies
he's-
for the-
He's eligible and he meets, and he has sufficient time remaining to cover the request.
Okay, that's the
I'll make a
motion.
motion.
I'll second.
Greg seconds that, I'll make that unanimous, so let's sign that. Anybody got anything else?
I mean, we may also be able to, I don't know if he has.
Should I note on this approval that upon, you know, being eligible for the benefits,
I would say,
upon verification of
yeah,
eligibility?
that's, you know, I don't know if this person has accrued like vacation leave or other days that might be able to cover like PTO or anything like that. Like those are other things that we can consider using in lieu of, but kind of provide the same or
Yeah.
substantial benefit.
Anybody got anything else? Randy? Greg?
I'd make a motion to end the meeting.
Motion's been made to adjourn the meeting.